In our Bible study today, we are taking a look at Joseph, a well-known biblical character from the Old Testament in the book of Genesis. Genesis 37. Now Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other sons, because he had been born to him in his old age, and he made him an ornate robe for him. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him and could not speak a kind word to him. Hate. Hate can be a very dangerous emotion. As we see in our country today, we see people that are hate-filled or do things that are full of hate. See, when we allow our hate to go unchecked, it can lead us to do things that we regret. See, we think if our hate, we contain it, we don't let it spill on anybody else, we can hold it in and nobody knows it. But the truth is, when our hate is left unchecked, it can lead us to do things that we regret. I remember back in college, I was standing in a dorm room and I went outside and there was this water fountain there, and I pushed down on the water fountain lightly and it fell off the wall. I acted like nothing had happened, didn't want to take any responsibility for it. But then the next day, I get a call from one of the administrators at the school, and they bring me in and they say, "We heard you broke this water fountain." And of course, I played dumb and act like I knew and didn't know. But they said, "We had a witness there." And they named the young person who was the witness. I felt my temperature rise. I could feel myself getting angrier and angrier, and I was filled with hate. And all I could see was red as it overtook me. And I made a beeline from the administrator's office to find that kid. Was it his fault? Nope. Just like in our story, this isn't Joseph's fault. You see, his brothers, their hate wasn't Joseph's fault. It was easy for them to be, look, Joseph, he's spoiled. Dad loves him more. But hate comes from us, from within us. It's something that we like to blame on others, but we need to take personal responsibility for. Who have you hated? Who have you hated and have harbored that inside of you? In a couple weeks, we'll talk about how do we overcome hate through this powerful thing called forgiveness. What do you do? What do you do when you feel like hate is consuming you? How do you handle that? Take a moment. Discuss it with a couple other people. Second question. How have you seen hate, when it's left unchecked, lead to things that people regret? Where have you seen that in your life? Take a moment, talk with the other people near you. Number 3, question 3. What does it mean to be an agent of peace? I think the opposite of hate is peace. And so, how might you, in whatever context you find yourself, how might you be an agent of peace in a world that is desperate for peace? I remember when I was back in high school, and there was this kid that I would say I was on the edge of hate. No, I hated him. And I remember how it consumed me. I remember how every time I saw him, that's all I could see in him, was those things that I hated about him. And so it would have been easy for me to say, that is his fault, that is his issue, he's causing me to do that. But my friends, when it comes to hate, the issue isn't them, it's me. And the sooner that we're willing to own that, the sooner we're willing to admit that, the sooner we are on to the path of health and wholeness and goodness. So my friends, this week, Look at your hearts and see if there's any hate in there that you need to extinguish, that you need to do away with, so that you can live the life that God truly wants for you, a life of wholeness and health and goodness and vitality.
This video was created by First Connect, a ministry of First Congregational Church of Hudson. It was produced at the studios of Hudson Community Television. All rights reserved.